Have you ever done something dumb as a kid? Something you look back on and just kind of cringe about? Of course you have, because kids are dumb. This is one of those stories. So, when we were about 20 years old, we had these friends named Lucy and James. At the time, they had two little boys named Johnny and Benji. One night, we were hanging out drinking coffee and playing the most adult game there is, Monopoly Deal. It was getting late, so Lucy yelled out to the boys,
Johnny, Benji, time to go do toilet and teeth.
which, if you don't know, is a bedtime routine for children and adults. Adults should brush their teeth too. Brush your teeth. Anyway, the problem started when Johnny refused.
I don't want to go.
But Lucy told him to go try anyway. A couple minutes later, we heard a cry coming from down the hallway.
Help! Help!
Lucy walked down to see what was up with the kids, but not long after that, she yelled back down for some help. Then James left to go to the bathroom as well. And like 2 minutes later, their youngest son Benji walked back out and asked Amy to go help in the bathroom as well. She was confused, but she went in anyway.
First, I saw the toilet. Johnny in the toilet. And Lucy and James holding Johnny in the toilet. Johnny was pretty much folded in half with his legs sticking up while holding on for dear life as he was being swallowed by the toilet. I was like, well, what do you want me to do about it? Is he stuck? Have you tried to pull his pants off? Have you tried to grease him up? I started pouring a bunch of baby oil around the toilet seat, but that just made things worse because his pants kind of just suctioned around the toilet seat. So James decided to rip the toilet seat off of the toilet so he had more room to work. Poor little Johnny flopped over his mum on the floor. Oh yeah, by the way, Lucy was about 8 months pregnant at this point. We tried pushing him through the seat, but it wasn't working.
Can I have a snack?
So everyone in the bathroom was freaking out at this point, and James had the bright idea to just cut the damn thing off. So he ran off to grab a little power saw, one of these. He got back, and I held Johnny's butt up while he tried to cut through the seat, but that thing was so loud it felt like there was a friggin' chainsaw in the room. Johnny was screaming and crying. Lucy was screaming. Everyone was screaming. So I screamed at James to stop. Lucy kept saying that he was bleeding. That scared the shit out of me. But don't worry, it turned out that he was not bleeding. He was just finally peeing. But he was still stuck in the toilet seat, so James ran off to call an ambulance.
I could hear James on the phone calling an ambulance, which was pretty confusing, but then Benji leaned over and said,
Oh yeah, Johnny's stuck in the toilet.
but I was too awkward to do anything, so I kind of just sat on the couch quietly, out of the way, like a good boy.
While James was gone and I was a little bit less panicked, I realized that I could probably get his pants off. So I found some scissors and I cut the butt out of his pants and managed to shove him through the toilet seat. Johnny was left crying and arseless, soaked in his own pee and baby oil on top of his pregnant mum. I legit thought that Lucy might go into labor, but luckily for everyone, that was pretty much the end of the drama that night. After the ordeal and some new pants, Johnny explained that he didn't need to wee, so he sat down on the toilet seat with his pants still on and slipped dramatically into the toilet. The lesson is, always take your pants off before sitting on the toilet and don't do dumb kid things.